Hey, so recently I sat for this TCS NQT exam that happened on the date 20th of March 2026. I was given the slot second, which started from 2 p.m. to 5:10, and these were the two coding questions that I can remember from the exam. So I'm pretty sure about the first one because all of the test cases were like all test cases ran successfully. But the question two, I only was able to do 2 out of 7 test cases. That was also, I did a little bit of hard coding there. So, yeah, I'll be talking about the first question mainly, what they asked and how they asked, and what I did basically to pass the test cases, pass all the test cases in under 7 minutes, I think. Yeah, it was like 7 minutes into the question, I was able to solve the question. So, I'll be talking about the code that I wrote. So I use Java for it. So if you guys use Java for it, you will understand it. If you don't, I'll be telling you the alternative approach too. If you are using any other language, I'll basically tell you the logic what I did. And for the question two, I'll be explaining you what the question was about. And yeah, that is what we are doing in here. So first question was basically given every priorities with a completion time short according to the priorities, and then if the priorities are same, they're only short according to the completion time. Now if you didn't understand that, I'll tell you. So first of all, the input, this 5 is basically the number of inputs they will give. So in this case, after this 5, notice how there are 5 elements. uh, 3 1 is 1, 2 3 is 2, 4 5 is 3, 4 5 4 9 is 4, and 3 0 is 5. So total there are 5 elements. So every 5 elements, basically we have total uh, 10 elements, because in every particular element, in every particular input, we have actually two inputs. First is the priorities. So this left one is the priorities. So 3 2 4 4 3 is priorities, and then there is completion time. So completion time of what? That is the completion time of the priority. So this is the priority and this is the completion time. So if you have studied operating system, there is this thing called processes. There is this topic processes. If you know about it, there is process priority scheduling, and this completion time is basically a thing out there, and this priority is also is a thing out in there. You don't have to know operating system to solve this problem. This is basic problem, but I think what they tried to do was that thing only. So yeah, so simple this, the wordings are not exactly the same. Like this priorities completion time are the same thing that I wrote, but other than that, the exact wording of the question was a little bit different from this, but it was very it was not that difficult to understand. I think I would say it was mostly easy. So what they asked was basically, so you have to sort this bit basically, so you have to sort this whole thing. First of all, you have to sort uh, according to the priorities. So let's say 2 is smaller than 3, right? So 2 will be coming before 3. So 4 is greater than 3, so 4 will be coming after 3. So that is what you will do. But there is a problem, as there are two numbers. The first number is priority and the second number being completion time. We also have to check the completion time only when the priorities are same. What I mean by it is, like, when you have multiple priorities with the same number, like 3 and 3, we don't actually know which one to actually we don't we don't know actual positioning until unless we notice one thing: the completion time is also there. So there is 3 0 and 3 1. So only when the priorities will be same, the 3 and 3 will only then consider 0 and 1. So 0 is basically smaller than 1, so basically 3 0 will be coming before uh, 3 1. Same, 4 5 is smaller than 4 9, because 4 4 is same obviously, but 5 is smaller than 9, so he positioned it before the 4 9. This is the simple problem. I hope you guys understood the problem. If you don't, please let me know in the comments. But I'll be moving to the solution part, what I did, how I coded it up. So yeah, this is the code. First of all, I imported the Java util library, and I imported the scanner class, because obviously you will have to take the inputs. And then after that, uh, what we did was, uh, this int n is basically the number of inputs they're giving, like the 5, so that we know how many inputs we have to take. So after that we created a list. I'll talk you through this. I'll talk you what I did in here. But first of all, we ran a for loop that will be starting from 0 and it will go till n minus 1. And every time, notice how there are two elements, right? The first one being priority and the second one is completion time. So this is the priority and this is the completion time, and both are integer. So after that we stored that inside this list. So every list is basically, so this is the whole list, and every list is basically containing two numbers. So first one being the priority and second one being the completion time. So first one is 3 and 1, like this, 3 and 1, and the second one is 2 and 3. I hope this is clear. If you don't know Java, normally think like this. This is basically multi-dimensional list, and inside there is this fixed size. We have only two columns. This is 3 1, and then this is 2 3. Then there is 4 5, because we are very sure the user won't give any other thing other than two numbers in every input, right? So what I did was I just added this thing. If you know Java, uh, I have created a int array, and then I've got the priority at the first position and the second position. I wrote the completion time, and then this is the easier part. This is the easier thing that I did there. Uh, Not easier thing, but I meant to say, like, this is the if you know this thing, it will make your code very easier. Other than that, if you don't know, if you don't have the control over your language, uh, be it Python, be it Java, be it C++, if you don't know the particular language well, then there will be a very big problem. Like for example, I am very sure about it that Python, be it Python, JavaScript, Java, whatever you use, there is this thing where you can also short. Basically, you have to short the array. In this case, you have to short the array. In my case, it is list, but normally you have to short the array based on some custom logic, right? So if you have solved some problems related to it, you will only be able to solve this problem. Otherwise, it is very hard for you to solve this problem. uh, so I would suggest you to like, if you do understand this problem and if you are able to solve this, then I would suggest you to, then I would be like, then I would suggest you to skip this basically. Skip to the second problem, basically, to know what the second problem is. But if you don't know the language, then you obviously should learn the language first. But if you don't know the language well, and if you decide to use a custom sorting logic, like if you know bubble sort or any other sort in that matter, you can do the same problem by that thing. uh, if you want, I can also code it up in the comment section. Just comment it out in the comments. I'll give you the code. But normally you can search it in the search it on the chat gpt or anything, you will get the code. But normally what I'm trying to say is this logic, this part of the logic is same for anything you do. What I did was, what I did here is use lambda function to basically compare every time. So first of all, this int a and int b is basically two arrays here. At the array 0th position is the priority, array 1 position is the completion time. So every time we are checking 4 5, and let's say we are taking two elements, let's say 4 5 and 4 9. First I checked whether the first element and the second element is same or not. This is nothing but ternary operator. So 4 5, we are checking this 4 and 4 is same or not. If it is same, for our example, for this particular two items, it is same, right? So if it is same, then we are comparing it with the a1 minus b1. This is the sorting logic, how Java uses sorting logic to sort the items. So you can be basically like a1 minus b1, and it will be simply sorting it out. The collection sort, this method will basically sort the whole array list in ascending order, right? And you can simply reverse it out to do it in descending order. So 4 and 4 is basically, so notice how I wrote, if a0 equals to b0. So firstly we are checking with the first element, with whether the first element is same or not. It is same. it is same. So we are checking, we are be like 5 minus 9, and if it is positive, then it will be starting, it will be like shorting out through the ascending order, because a1 is at the top, at the before. And if it is not the case, and a0 is equals to, so a0 equals to b0 is not true, then we know that we have to short it normally. Normally we can sort it with the priority. So 2 and 3 is not same, right? So normally it won't care about the completion time, because see how 2 and 3, this 3 is greater than 0, but we don't care because the priorities are basically not same. We only care about the priorities or completion time when the priorities are not same. I think I'm clear. This is how the sorting logic looked like. And also there is this thing that happened at the fifth minute. I was able to solve the problem, but the thing is, uh, notice how there is space after every commas. So this is the logic what I wrote to basically, this is a simple line that I wrote to make it work. So after this point we don't actually have commas. So at the last position, when we have to check whether or not it is the I is same as n minus 1. If it is the case, we don't do anything. Other than that, we have to every time put a comma with a space. That is what they asked in the output section. So like, to pass a single test case, it doesn't matter if your code is right, if your logic is right, you have to take care of this space thing, the output thing. The input and output is very important in the TCS compiler. So or any compiler in that matter of fact. If you go on lead code and do something wrong with the input and output, it will be basically the same thing. So this is basically the code. Do check out the codes, do check out the solution to this same problem in your particular language. I hope the logic of this is, the gist of this logic is just this: you have to basically know what you are doing at every step. If you are using bubble shot, let's say you are using bubble shot and you are comparing two elements, then also you have to do the same thing again and again, right? So this is the main logic that you have to use. Other than that, this is just a simple implementation problem. This is not too hard. So this was the first problem and I solved it under 7 minutes, I guess. And after that, the question 2 appeared and I was like really shocked. And I was not expecting a graph problem. I was only able to solve 2 out of 7 cases, but yeah, and I will just talk about that. I don't know how to solve this problem. I looked at after I like went out from there. So normally what they asked was, there are multiple buildings in a city. So this nodes are basically buildings, and there are connections, and their connections. This is sorry for the wording, guys. Their connections, and these are the connections, right? So this is first building and this is second building, and the connection is 3. Find out the minimum spanning tree. If you know, you have to do graph basically. So minimum spanning tree is the minimum number of connections where you connect the graph at a very simple at a very minimum cost. And so find out the minimum spanning tree by which every buildings can be connected with each other. Very simple question. If you have done it, you will be able to do it. Otherwise, there is no way you can solve this. So if it is not possible, then print invalid output. So this is where my first test case got passed. I figured out one thing, that since obviously I did graph, this is a simple concept, not a simple concept. Like, you mostly have done graph in your academics, so you know the simple thing how graph works. So minimum spanning tree is basically like the minimum, so the minimally connected connections where every nodes are connected with each other without repeating connections. So first I figured out one thing. So if there is 3 nodes, if there is n nodes, the minimum connections that can happen uh, is n minus 1, right? So for example, if the given condition is like that, if the given input is like that, that there is 3 nodes and there is only one connection, then you know that okay, the minimum spanning tree contains n minus 1, that is two minimum. We have to have two connections to actually have a connected graph. So if there is less connections, there is disconnected graph, and in that case they told us to like have this invalid output, print invalid output. So that is how my first test case was like passed. And the other one, I solved something, I guess, I don't remember, but other one I mostly hard coded it. I like did something and printed it. Yeah, but the input was like the first three was like the number of nodes in the building, the number of nodes in the city. So this is 1 2 3, so there is 3, and this is the number of connections. So it is 3 as well because we have 3 connections. This is the server cost, we have to just add it up and add to the last minimum spanning tree cost. I'll tell you what I mean by it. So this is 2 3. We don't know, need this actually. So yeah, so this is the U, this is the V, and this is the C. So U stands for the starting point, V stands for the ending point, and this is the cost. So 1 to 2, 1 to 2 is 3, 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3 is 5, and at last 1 to 3 is 2, right? So this is the whole graph, and the answer is 11. I'll tell you how it is 11. So the first minimum spanning tree is 3 and 2, because we don't have to take this 5 because this is uh, the cost is higher. So we can be simply like 3 plus 2 is 5, and here it is like 3 4 5 6, and 6 and 5 is basically 11. So this is the first thing. And they also told us to give us the second MST in case the first one fails. For example, let's say this 3 connection is failed, then we don't know how to have this MST work, right? How to have this connection still going on. So what they told us was to find the second MST also, and then also print that. So in that case it was like 5 6 7 and the server cost, and it was coming as 13. This was the problem they asked. I wasn't able to solve this problem. It was pretty unexpected. I didn't do graphs well. I I mostly did like DFS BFS. If they would have asked BFS DFS, I would just try to solve that problem, but this was like totally unexpected. I later found out that it was like you have to use Prim's or Kruskal's algorithm to find out the logic, and you cannot like, obviously you cannot like invent the Kruskal and Prim's algorithm there. If you have solved it before, you will be able to do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't. So that was the whole thing. That was the thing that they asked. Uh, for this thing, for the second question, I was only able to solve 2 out of 7 test cases. The first question was very easy. I also heard about it that the slot one on the same day, like 20th of like on the 20th of March, the first slot got the first question way easier than this question. It was mostly if else statement. You have to write some if else statement to solve the problem. It was much easier than this problem. So it is just based on luck. So if you are like preparing for TCS, I would wish you all the best for the exam. Uh, like for the first question, I think you mostly would be able to solve it. But the second questions, if you are good with DSA, you are very consistent with solving DSA problems, and you are known to this advanced topics, then I think there isn't much to stress about. All the best for the exam. I'll meet you in another video. Thank you. I'll obviously comment the code, the first test solution. I'll comment it out in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.